So, let's talk about dominating the market for mobile games for a bit. My name is Ville Heijari. I used to be in the birds business until I moved into the whaling industry, and actually like making money out of mobile games. And I work for PlayHaven, and I have an outdated slide here because we just yesterday we updated our numbers that we actually have like 20,000 games in our network right now. So we have a global network for user acquisition, engagement, and monetization. And what we believe in is an end-to-end service. So how do you acquire users, keep them engaged in your games throughout their journey, and even when they churn, when they exit your game, how do you reach out to them? And how do you develop games without being like sort of fixed on single technology? How do you keep your flexibility? When you're choosing like to develop on Unity, whatever, Adobe Air Marmalade, how do you keep like building and not just like paint yourself in the corner technology-wise? If you look at the best new games, the marketplace today, you can see like this is like the storefront that Apple is promoting on iTunes App Store. And at the same time, it doesn't really correlate on what is being sold, or what are the best paid applications in the App Store. And furthermore, what's actually grossing, what's making money, doesn't correlate on what Apple is promoting or what the storefronts are promoting or what are the paid apps. So, as you all know, paid applications have been in a bit of a downturn lately. So when it used to take like 15,000 downloads to be on top of the paid chart on iOS, now it takes like maybe 8,000. So paid downloads have been in a bit of a crunch lately, and you really want to be on free-to-play if you want to make money and do business. And obviously, like, you know, when you were building paid applications, you would have your the audience that you can reach and the price point that you're charging, and that's your ARPU, right? You can sort of anticipate how much money you will be making, how much business you're doing. And in free-to-play, everybody is a potential client who can pay hypothetically as much as they want. So there's going to be like a really small segment of players who are going to pay anything. Really small segment of players who are going to pay a lot of money, and a lot of people who might pay something. So how do you make all those people into paying customers? How do you run the business? So 95 to 99% of your clients will never make in-app purchases. So how do you monetize those people? More than 50% of people only play once and never return. So even if you pay for user acquisition, those people will download your game, launch it once, and never launch it again. And non-payers play mobile games 4 hours a week, but high spenders play mobile games 12 hours a week. So how do you accommodate for these small sessions and short-term playing, and also the longer sessions and these like intense players? Well, of course, like metrics and analytics helps. So let's consider this for a second. If you choose an answer to this question at random, what is the chance you will be correct? 25%, 50%, 60%, 25%. Anybody know the answer? So the problem here is that if you look at this dilemma, what is the question? What are you choosing the answer for? So you don't want to use just metrics. You want to put thought into your analytics. And if you think of your game, and even a single game is a network, but if you have an existing game and you're launching new games on top of that and cross-promoting, that is your game network, right? And in your game network, you will have new users coming in. You have quitters, people leaving. You have existing users, people who you want to hang on to, and reacts. How do you keep the quitters to come back to your game? How do you keep the existing users launching the game again and again? This is your network. You can't think of it just as I launched a game, I sold a game, I'm going to the bank. But how do you keep these people involved in your network and keep launching new games and getting them involved? So metrics are important. So you need to follow up on your acquisition, retention, engagement, and monetization. How much money are you making per user? How many new users are coming in? Where are they coming from? How long are they staying? How do you keep them, like how many sessions they're spending, and what is the average length of their session? But what you use that for is that's not just like analytics is not monthly active users and retention and average revenue per user. Analytics is when you really dive into that data and you use it so you can make decisions. So for example, decision to kill a game, decision to build new games, decision to monetize your current games better. Analytics is something that you really, you seek professional help on if you don't grasp it. Okay, but let's move into the players, because not all players are created equal. You really need to understand like how to reach out to the different players of your game. You will always have people who are willing to spend money. You will always have people who come from wherever and they don't want to spend anything. So how can you identify these right player segments and deliver meaningful messaging to them? Anybody who comes into your game will download the game. If they like it enough, if they're part of the less than 50% who like it enough to come back, they might start spending money in there, or they might start at least investing their time in that game. And eventually their interest will wane. They will find more games and they will find something else to do and they will move away. So what is meaningful communication per player? It could be just campaigns. So basically, like when you have a free-to-play game, you are responsible for merchandising the items available in that game. So it's not just enough that you have a store, but how do you promote things from the store to the people who are willing to pay for them? For example, how do you give discounts to the actual customers? Not just like, if I played this game for 2 weeks, but I'm never going to spend any money. I haven't spent a dime yet. You wouldn't promote to me like a $20 in-app purchase. But if I've already spent $20, you might promote me something that's 50% off. That's still a high value. So what you want to do is also time your actions. In every game, you're going to have transitions from menu to menu, end of levels, game launch, game resume, so on. So consider your promotions like never break the gameplay and break the engagement, but how do you insert smart promotions in a way that they support the gameplay? So I end the level, maybe I'm low on lives, I'm low on weapons, I'm low on ammunition. If I can buy more then, and if I love your game, I'm more plausible. It's more plausible that I will buy them at that right interval. And you can pretty much like consider not just advertising, but anything that you capture the user's attention with, you can put anywhere in your game. And in segmentation, sky is pretty much the limit, but you can think of your audience in terms of money spent, their location, language, their session data, hardware, connection, and so on. But time, again, is of the essence here. So you really want to look at user cohorts. People who started playing your game today are very different from people who started playing your game 2 months ago. Especially if you update your game, if you bring more content all the time. You can think about, even if you have, like, let's say you have a paid application. What if you offer it for free for a month? You could target those users in that month who download it with advertising. So other people will still be your paid customers, but people who downloaded in that month, that's another cohort. So they might get targeted with advertising. So there's a lot of things that you can think in terms of time just alone. And then on spending, location, so on, this is a no-brainer. If you want to do like a campaign in Russia, Ukraine, you should always have the tools to target your audience based on location. And if you think about it, you can, in free-to-play games, you have the option to monetize like across the board. So if you think of whales, people who are highly engaged with your game, spending a lot of money, you don't want to show advertising to them because that's diminishing returns in the end. At the same time, you have purchase-prone customers who might come from like markets, be playing on devices, whatever, where you know that they are inclined to spend money. So then give them freebies, give them like currency, give them in-app currency, in-game currency, give them some items to keep them interested, get them engaged in the game economy. And then non-spenders, you will identify your non-spending audience, where they come from. They come from countries where people really don't spend on games. They play on devices, maybe like the cheapest devices and so on. Show them advertising. So there's an opportunity to monetize your non-spenders and your highest spending audience alike in a way that gives like good service to everybody. So if you think about this again, like visit this lifetime value curve. When I download your game, on a first date, I should feel welcome. I should never get advertising or sent away, or I should get rewards. I should get 50 credits free for downloading your game. Like thanks for joining our community, and at the same time capture my information. So if I'm 50% of the people, more than 50% don't play the game again, you should be able to have people join your Facebook page or enter their email address for freebies or something like that, just to keep up with them. And then when I start spending, then focus on in-app purchases. So if I play your game, couple of days in, I start spending. Give me discounts. Give me special offers. Give me weekly offers. Give me weekend specials. Anything to get me really into your economy. And then eventually my engagement will peak, which means basically like daily sessions and so on. So daily sessions will go down. Session frequency will get lower. Then it's time for re-engagement, which can be newsletters, which can be more promotions, more campaigns, more free stuff, anything to get me really interested again into a game. And eventually cross-promote to your other games to sort of reset this curve again, or then just monetize with advertising, if that's an option. So in-app purchase discounts, these can actually be a really, really significant driver. So one of our partners, Mobile Deluxe, they did like a big campaign where they take like really, really tiered approach to in-app purchases. So they took their non-spending customers, people who had spent some money, people who had spent more money, and people who had spent a ton of money, and they offered special offers to all of these sort of customer segments, and they saw a really, really high increase in conversion across the board. So basically, like they offered for the highest spending bracket, they offered something at the $20 value, and for the non-spenders, they offered something at the $1 value. And throughout the board, they saw like a huge increase in conversion. And similarly, like how do you keep the users engaged? You wanna have like the rankings that people give to you. Apple recently changed their App Store rankings that reviews count. So reviews are factored into the rankings. So you wanna target like your most engaged audience who plays your game the most to give you 5-star ratings, right? You don't have to have everybody who tries your game. You don't have to have everybody have a pop-up that says please rate our game, but actually target the people who love your game, at least statistically, and have them give you 5-star ratings. I mean, push notifications. We all know, like how push notifications can be nagging and a sort of standard that your animals miss you or your farm is dying or whatever. They're sort of like reminding you that here's another game that I haven't been playing, right? So what we did with push notifications is actually like go into the relevant content. So if I'm creating a campaign for you, I can push and deep link it into the actual content. So if I have a weekend special or a discount campaign, you're part of it, I can actually like send you right into the campaign, not just launch the game. So how do you keep push notifications relevant? They should never be just like, hey, please come back today. But if there is actually something for the player, if they can react, if they can purchase something at a discount, if they have a reward, then send the push notifications. Because they will then like, you know, activate and they will get a reward for that. And that is infinitely more effective than just saying that, hey, our game is here. And how do you build relationships out of gameplay? For example, just having people sign up for an email newsletter. One of our clients, Sega, they did a campaign when they were coming out with Sonic Dash, where they had run a sign-ups campaign in Sonic Jump that they like follow up with Sonic's further adventures, and they had a 66% increase in their reach on their email platform. And the open rate when they finally launched Sonic Dash was 2 times the industry average, and click-through rate 1.5 times industry average. So here's the thing that like many people still frown on email marketing. That okay, it's something, you know, we used to do it, not so hot anymore, or that it's not just relevant. But it can still be a significant boost for your initial launch. And upselling premium games, there's a pretty much like I said, that the premium games are on the trend is that they are going down, but people still saying I would still argue that it's a valid business model to have like a free version of your game and then upsell more content or to sort of unlock the full version. One of our clients, Magmic, they have a game called Phase 10, and Phase 10 is like a card game, parallel game. And they ran like an upsell campaign from the free to paid version, and they had 3 versions of their ads. One was saying that, hey, like buy the full version to get more content, so you get like, you know, more to play. The second was complimenting, like, hey, you're pretty good, you completed the free version, so why not try the full version? And the third one was a challenge. The challenge was like, can you beat the full total challenge? Can you beat the full challenge? And the challenging one was the most effective one of these. So it's always like, you know, it's always good to like tap into that competitiveness there. So anyway, they experienced that when they did like a fundamental campaign on cross-selling from their free to paid. They increased their revenue 30%. So this is not just like having a button like, hey, please buy the full version here, but it's actually like, again, targeting the people who play your game most with the relevant content. And it doesn't have to be just promotions. It can be anything. It can be like if people are having trouble passing the first level in your game, you don't need to submit a new build to the App Store. You can just like put some kind of tutorial info, just publish it right there. I like to always stress that like keeping it generous is the way forward. So you give more and you get more, because when you give stuff, when you give in-game currency, when you give items in your game, people will get more involved in your economy. Most of them probably don't even know there's a shop in your game. When they know that there's a shop, most of them won't buy. So what if you give them enough currency that they will go through those hoops, they will go through that threshold, they will go to the shop and purchase, which will then give them the opportunity to even consider spending money. And when you've given them something, give them more. Give them daily rewards, give them weekly rewards. Just keep them involved, keep them coming back. If they feel that they have like enough invested in your game, they will keep coming back. And keeping in touch with your players, that's so important. Like, how do you reach out to them when they leave your game? Emails, push notifications, Facebook community, Twitter, whatever. You need to really like leverage all of these tools to have maximum reach on your audience when they leave your game. So that's end to end from our perspective. Always make new players feel like they're at home. When they download your game, when they play it, more than half of them will never return. So for those who will, they should feel really happy that they downloaded just your game, right? So they should get rewards, they should feel special, they should have like an excellent service when they download your game. Along the way, you then figure out how to monetize them. People who keep coming back, who are highly engaged, give them rewards, really spoil them, keep them happy, treat them as your VIPs. And finally, when people leave your game, have channels to reach out to them afterwards. So, 50%, more than 50% of the players download your game, never come back. So, you have to have something to reach out to them. And that's all I have today. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ville. I just have to say, I loved that presentation. I often get, there's this statement that's floating around that in free-to-play games, it's not just the game that matters. And developers often ask me, well, what else is there? And I think that you just talked about all the rest of the stuff that you have to get right to really take advantage of free-to-play. So thank you very much. That was
thank
excellent.
you. I think that like what most of us really miss is that like in free-to-play, the store and everything around like the item, it's not just like something like you walked into the supermarket and they promote stuff. Stuff is being merchandised. There's going to be like different tiers of clients being addressed with different products, different promotions. And we shouldn't think of our games as any different. When we're actually selling items or selling anything in our games, we should be able to like really put it to the forefront. Not to say that like the gameplay is everything. The gameplay will be what keeps people coming back. But when we're doing business, we should make sure that we're really putting also the business to the front.
Any questions for Ville?
Anyone?
So I apologize for my ignorance. I'm going to ask a really stupid and obvious question. Is that what PlayHaven does? PlayHaven creates the tool sets that allow you to message to people in these ways without updating?
Yeah, we do that. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of technologies, there's a lot of tools. There's millions of ad providers. There's a lot of analytics tools and so on. We cover pretty much this. So our thinking is end to end. We have a user acquisition network. We have a set of free tools to actually engage your users. And then we also we recently launched a push notifications product. So that is what we do. And we actually just to if you have no questions, I'd like to give you a reminder that we're running a special offer here in Kiev. So anybody who signs up to our push notifications platform here gets a significant discount. So please email me or get in touch with me or just come and nudge me here if you want to hear more.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.